All right, welcome inside the WCBL studios. I'm your content host for the season, Clark Monroe, here with IKS Media. And today we continue our preseason coverage with our coaches' interviews to give you a behind the scenes look at your favorite team. And today we're joined by last year's breakout sensation, the Saskatoon Berries, as we're joined today by Joe Carnahan. Joe, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Obviously, before we talk about last season and look ahead to the summer coming up, let's just start with the successful launch of the Berries program last winter, but into last summer, which includes the academy side of things, which I know you're very involved in. Can you just talk about your involvement with the program and everything that's going on at the Berries Academy?
The academy went good this year. We have 15U and 18U, and the kids come in the afternoon, and we had a really good group of kids with both age groups, and the facilities here are great with the Gordie Hall complex. Once we get indoors, and good group of kids. We were fortunate enough to have quite a few kids actually commit to some good schools and able to move on here in the future, and look forward to keep growing it.
Yeah, for those who might not be fully aware, so I'm based out of Regina. I know you've been around Saskatchewan over the years, but generally in Saskatchewan, can you just talk about the development of grassroots programs across the province, but specifically in Saskatoon, that kind of has been centered around this Berries program?
Well, first off, the Saskatoon minor ball, they do a great job. I mean, the fields here in the summer and the fall are just packed with kids playing and just opportunities for everybody. And then, it just made sense for us to continue giving that opportunity throughout the fall, then throughout the winter, and getting the players ready for their club teams this spring. And the facilities here are great, and just the talent and the athleticism in the city in general is great.
Yeah. So again, for those who might not be aware, because obviously, again, the Saskatoon franchise obviously used to be the Yellow Jackets. Now we're the Berries here. But you have some really great facilities at your disposal on a daily basis. Can you just talk about the Gordie Howe complex and everything that's kind of been developing at the field that you guys play at as well?
Yeah, the Gordie Hall complex, it's about the size of a football field, and I'd say about a 30, 40 foot ceiling in there. So we're able to do a lot of stuff. We have two infields. We can break the turf in half, and we have two full infields on each half, or we can open it up and do that. There's also 9 cages in there. And then we work with Ignite training. So our lifting and our strength and speed is right there as well. And it's just a one-stop shop for everything. And the kids come here, after school, or not even after school. They start at 1 o'clock after their morning classes, and just get after it from 1 to 4.
So you personally got your start in Swift Current back in the day with the 57s, obviously as a player, wildly successful playing career. He transitioned that into a coaching career, won a few championships. That was, of course, in the old days of the WMBL, which was not quite the same as it is right now. But how great was it for you to get your hands on a new program from scratch last season, given your extensive resume? How great was it for you to be able to kind of start a program from scratch?
Well, just the organization, Steve Hildebrandt and everybody else involved does such a good job. The Saskatoon Entertainment Group is just it's a special organization with the Blades, the Rush. They're in the finals right now with lacrosse, and just everybody works together every day. You come to work, just a great environment, and it's just a blast and be able to be a part of that organization. And the biggest thing is everything that is done is it's trying to be perfect and trying to promote baseball, promote all their sports, and just be successful within the city here.
Yeah, for sure. It's they do great stuff up there, I will admit. So let's talk about last year's team. Last year's Saskatoon Berries finished 31-25. Pretty nice way to kind of kick off the franchise. Started off with a nice winning season, making the playoffs, getting that community just exploding with, from what I could see from an outsider's perspective, exploding with Berries pride, so to speak. But got a playoff series win over Medicine Hat before losing to Moose Jaw in the second round. What lessons can you take from last year to now apply to this year's team?
The biggest thing this year is just now we kind of know what it's going to look like. Like last year, we had, our whole coaching staff was brand new together. Everybody within the organization, inside the fence, outside the fence, everything was new to everybody. We had
Yeah.
30 brand new players and all that. So this year, just kind of knowing what's going on, just the ins and outs and all that stuff, just the day to day. It's going to make a lot of the transitions and getting guys in here feeling comfortable right away, and things will operate smoothly.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about last season, some of the impact players that you guys had that will be coming back. I know there was one in particular. We talked about him before we started recording the interview here, but one in particular. But talk about some of the players that you have coming back that should be part of the leadership group this year.
Yeah, Carter Beck, obviously. He had a great summer for us last year and down to Indiana State this year. He's having a great spring, and we're excited and fortunate to have him back. He just through his work ethic, his attitude, he's the same guy every day. He goes 4 for 4, 0 for 4, whatever. He comes to the park every day, works his tail off, and just for him to set that tone for everybody to kind of follow is something special. He's a special player, and we're lucky to have him for 2 years. And you got Balin Sorensen, he'll be back. Menard, Jalen Freeman, and a bunch of other guys, and it's good to have a good core group of guys back. And like I said, now those guys know what to expect, kind of know the day to day, and know the league now as well. So it'll be nice to be able to not have to go through that.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, continuity usually breeds some sort of success as well and some sort of culture, which I know is starting up there already. You mentioned Carter Beck, 4 for 4, 0 for 4. He's the same kind of guy. Luckily for you and luckily for him, he does go 4 for 4 more often than he goes 0 for 4, just from what I've seen. But let's talk about some of the new guys. Maybe there's some new faces coming to town that you're pretty excited to see in the purple and blue.
Yeah, Evan Janner from University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. He's having a good year down there. Their team's having a good year. They're in the conference tournament right now, and they kind of hold their own destiny here to see if they can make a regional and stuff. And we'll have a couple pitchers from that school that'll be an impact for us, kind of like last year. Nathan Houston, he had a good year last year, and we're excited to have him. Ethan Murdoch, I've known him since he's been about 8, 9 years old. Been working with him, and to be able to finally coach him, that'll be that's pretty exciting, and we expect him to have an impact for us. And just with this group this year, we got some guys that can kind of bang it, and then we also got some guys that can run a little bit. So we should be able to do some different things offensively. And Tyler Davis back at the back end of our bullpen, he had a very good summer last year, and to be able to get him back. Zach Laird's another one from Indiana State that we're expecting to have a good summer for us as well in the back end.
So given last year was kind of your first year to get the team together and everything, were you able to develop any rivalries yet? Is there a team that you already have circled on the calendar? It's like, I really want to beat those guys?
No, it's every day. You want to win every day. It doesn't matter who you're playing. So, I mean, whatever game day is, you want to go out there and win. And that's kind of the way I approach it.
Perfect. Love that. So, Joe, if I told you I just got back from the future, I'm asking this to every coach so far, but I just got back from the future, and the Saskatoon Berries, they won the championship. They had a great summer, won the championship. Fill in the blank for me. What must have gone right in order for all of that to happen? What's the X factor for the Saskatoon Berries this summer?
It's pitching. You got to be able to pitch it to win. You have to have good pitching and obviously play good defense, but it all starts on the mound, and usually the teams that can pitch it the best are there at the end.
Perfect. And that has been a common answer so far, so I don't doubt that whatsoever. Joe, thanks for the time today. Best of luck with the Berries, and we'll be chatting with you again pretty soon down the road here.
All right. Thanks for having me.